child. Let me tell you something, because the royal tea spilling from behind those palace walls is piping hot right now. People say there comes a time in everyone's life when the ground just drops right out from under your feet, and for poor Prince Harry, that moment came recently, honey. I mean, the man was stunned. Completely blindsided. Word from folks close to that circle says Harry's whole world flipped upside down after he saw some things, pictures, details linking Meghan, not to Hollywood, not to those humanitarian circles she loves to brag about, but to Prince Andrew himself, and even a yacht that's raising more eyebrows than you can count. Yes, you heard me right, Prince Andrew. The same Andrew whose name drips with scandal. Sources claim Harry had no clue Meghan was ever anywhere near Andrew before their love story began. He thought she was this fresh outsider, the sweet actress who had never mingled with aristocrats or brushed royal shoulders. He believed she was new to that world. But baby, those yacht whispers changed everything. Once Harry saw what he saw, he couldn't unsee it. Folks say he's been asking himself ever since, what else did he never know? And you know what's scary? That silence around Meghan's alleged connection to Andrew, that silence is louder than any royal trumpet. Because if Andrew's life went up in flames for his associations, why has Meghan's name been kept squeaky clean? Why has her supposed proximity to those same circles stayed hidden? When Andrew's reputation crashed, it was like watching a royal train wreck. The man was splashed across every front page. Every TV host tore him apart. The palace pushed him out faster than you could blink. But when it comes to Meghan, oh no. Child, not one headline, not one whisper. It's like the whole press suddenly got laryngitis. And people inside the palace, they say that silence isn't by accident. It's deliberate, it's controlled, it's protected like the crown jewels themselves. Because if the public ever started asking the wrong questions like why Meghan's name never came up, or who decided to bury those details, the palace would have some explaining to do. Now, sit down for this next bit, because this is where the tea turns into boiling lava. Word is, Prince Andrew himself has been talking, allegedly telling his friends that his connection with Meghan wasn't a secret, that it existed long before Harry ever entered the picture. And if that's true, my dear, the whole fairy tale image of how Meghan just happened to meet Harry starts crumbling to dust. They say Meghan didn't stumble into royal life. She wasn't an outsider climbing up the palace walls. She was already inside them. Those defending Meghan swear she never knew Andrew, but people who know Andrew, they say otherwise. They say he remembers her clearly, that there was familiarity, access, and interaction. And if that's true, well, that explains everything. That's why Meghan carried herself like she owned Buckingham Palace the moment she stepped in. Why royal protocol never intimidated her. Why she behaved like she already outranked people who were born into it. And honey, if Harry has found this out, I can't even imagine his face. Because what he thought was a pure love story might just have been a carefully crafted game. If Meghan knew Andrew first, then maybe Harry wasn't the first royal she had her eye on. He was just the one who took the bait. Now, child, you better hold your tea tight because this next part is wild. Back in 2014, photographs surfaced of Meghan aboard a yacht. Not just any yacht, sources say it was one connected to the same high society crowd as Karina Shuliak, who happened to be Jeffrey Epstein's last known girlfriend. And Karina herself once said she only traveled with Epstein. So if that's true, that yacht Meghan was on, that ties her directly to Epstein's orbit, not through rumor, but through proximity. Nobody in the public asked questions. The palace said nothing. The media? Silent as a mouse. But people inside those royal corridors, oh, they noticed. They investigated. They traced the names, saw the photos, understood what it meant, and then they buried it deep. Because if Meghan was seen moving in those same elite, scandal-ridden circles, that would blow up her whole naive outsider narrative. And according to whispers, this was the moment Harry stopped denying what others had been hinting to him. The moment he realized Meghan's past wasn't the innocent fairy tale she painted. And it said the palace knew if those images ever went public, they wouldn't just reopen Andrew's scandal, they'd rewrite Meghan's entire origin story. Now, baby, if that yacht drama made your jaw drop, just wait, because what came next would have made any lawyer sweat. Legal insiders, yes. People familiar with Epstein's proceedings claim that Virginia Roberts, the woman who accused Andrew, had at one point considered calling Meghan Markle as a witness. Not because Meghan was famous or royal, but because she was allegedly an associate of Andrew and had been around the same environments where all that shady behavior was said to have happened. Now, pause a second because that's explosive. You don't call strangers to testify. You only call people who know or who saw. So behind the scenes, quiet questions started swirling. How did Meghan know Andrew? How often were they around each other? Why was it never addressed publicly? Who made it disappear and why? But you see, darling, if Meghan had been called to testify, that would have dragged Harry straight into the courtroom spotlight. The palace would have had to face her past publicly. That would have detonated both Andrew and Meghan's reputations at once. So suddenly, everything went quiet. No witness list, no questions, no headlines, like it never happened. Andrew's scandal swallowed him whole but somehow skipped right over Meghan. Like she never existed in that world at all. But people who were there say she did. To understand how Meghan ended up in those circles, you have to rewind to late 2011 when she arrived in Toronto to film Suits. People say her rise wasn't slow or innocent, it was deliberate. She had help from a certain man named Marcus Anderson. Marcus wasn't just a friend. He was a fixer, a connector, the type who could open doors that ordinary actors couldn't even knock on. He was tied to Soho House, that private, exclusive club where celebrities, politicians, and rich elites mingle behind closed doors. And according to insiders, Marcus didn't just introduce Meghan socially, he placed her. He connected her to Jessica Mulroney, to powerful business families, to London's socialites, and here's where all those puzzle pieces start clicking. Because those same networks, they allegedly linked back to Andrew's world. Meghan wasn't climbing, she was being elevated. She wasn't chasing status, she was being positioned. People who watched her said she learned fast. How to walk, how to talk, how to mimic high society confidence. She studied it like an art form, and pretty soon, she started believing she belonged at the very top. Toronto wasn't just a new job, it was a launch pad. And one more twist in this royal soap opera, Meghan herself admitted she knew Princess Eugenie before she ever met Harry. Now think about that. If she knew Eugenie, Andrew's daughter, then her introduction to Harry wasn't some magical coincidence. It was part of a circle she was already in. People close to Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, Andrew's ex-wife, say she spotted Meghan's ambition early. Fergie, who knows a climber when she sees one, was wary. Not because Meghan was an actress, but because she saw a woman who wanted position. Some claim Meghan might have originally aimed her charm at Andrew, but Fergie blocked it. Oh yes, she's always been territorial. She may have lost her title, but she wasn't about to let another woman claim a royal role tied to her family. And when Fergie cut that path off, Meghan simply changed direction. Andrew was untouchable, but Harry? Harry was young, lonely, bruised by loss, and easy to win over. Eugenie became the bridge. What looked like friendship became opportunity, and opportunity became marriage. But now, here's where the danger truly lies. If Andrew, Fergie, and Eugenie all knew Meghan before Harry, then they each hold parts of her story that the public has never seen, and that makes them dangerous. Now listen, because this is where it gets darker than a thunderstorm over Buckingham Palace. After Andrew got booted from royal life, humiliated in front of the whole world, people say he started to stew. The man felt betrayed. Because according to sources close to him, Andrew believes Meghan was moving in his circles long before Harry ever showed up. Same yacht circuits, same people, same whispered parties, yet somehow, when his life went up in flames, Meghan walked away spotless. Those who know Andrew say that's what burns him the most. He took the fall alone, while she got protected by the very same palace that cast him aside. He's bitter, resentful, and darling, dangerously unpredictable. Whispers say Andrew's been telling his friends he still has information, things that never made it out. Not gossip, not rumor, real interactions, memories, details that could shake the entire royal narrative. And according to people close to him, he believes that if he ever opened his mouth, the story around Meghan would collapse overnight. So why hasn't he spoken? Because Andrew knows the minute he does, that's it. No redemption, no quiet life, no way back. But honey, people say he's getting to that point where he's got nothing left to lose. And a man with nothing left to lose, that's the scariest kind of royal there is. Now, while Andrew's pacing in the shadows, Harry's over in California wrestling with something far worse, betrayal. Those close to him say he's come face to face with truths he refused to believe for years. They say he now accepts that Meghan wasn't just some outsider swept into royalty, but a woman who had known that world long before him, and she never told him the full story. People whisper that Harry feels sick. Not angry sick, because the love story he built his whole life around is cracking apart. They say he's disgusted, emotionally shattered, and every time he looks at Meghan now, he sees the ghost of all those secrets he ignored. You've seen it too, haven't you, how distant he's become? He rarely visits the UK, he avoids family gatherings. Even in California, he looks like a man haunted by the question he can't answer, what did I give all this up for? Because, child, let's be honest, Harry sacrificed everything. His titles, his family, his identity, his home. And now the whispers say he's realizing it might not have been for love at all. It might have been for a lie. People who know him say he feels trapped. Trapped by the marriage, by the kids, by the image they've built, trapped by the very decisions he thought would set him free. And here's the cruelest twist of them all. Once upon a time, Harry thought he was rescuing Meghan from the royal family. But now, insiders claim he's realizing the truth might be the opposite, that the royal family was trying to rescue him from her. But why, you might ask, has the world stayed so quiet? Why is every journalist pretending they don't see the smoke rising from this fire? Why is the palace acting like nothing happened? Well, honey, The reason is simple. This isn't just Meghan's scandal or Andrew's scandal. It's the monarchy scandal. If those alleged connections came out, the palace would face impossible questions. Why did they let Harry marry her? Why didn't they vet her past properly? Why protect her image while destroying Andrew's? And worst of all, did they know all along and hide it? Sources whisper that the palace fears the real story isn't about Meghan's secrets, it's about their own cover-up. Because if they shielded her back then, and the truth comes out now, it'll prove that they lied to the entire world, and that kind of disgrace could shake the monarchy to its bones. So, the press stays silent, the palace locks its lips, the insiders stay scared. But child, scandals don't disappear, they just wait. And the people who know the truth, Andrew, Fergie, Eugenie, they're all still alive, sitting quietly with memories that could bring the whole castle crumbling down. Every royal scandal follows the same story arc. First comes the whisper, then the denial, then silence, then the drip, then the flood. And right now, we're not in silence anymore. We're in the drip. People say there are photos. People say there are witnesses, names, dates, faces, places. And when even one of those pieces slips into daylight, it'll be unstoppable. Because once the first crack appears in that royal facade, everything will collapse. And when it does, baby, it won't just expose Meghan or break Harry, it might just rewrite the entire future of the monarchy itself.